To continue with a look at the Yaesu FT991 menu selections here, setup. We did everything up to 30, so we'll go back to 30 here. Which is way back here. There's quite a few. 30 was the 232 timeout. And I set this up for the auto tuner here, and let me back up a little bit. I have selected RS-232. I think I left it at GPS the last time around because I'm using this unit which takes 232 to grab the information in the display here on frequency to know where to tune to what memory it needs to go to tune on a given band and a given frequency. So anyway, 232 is used for that. They wanted at 38,400 bits per second. So that's just so that this is fast enough so that it tunes, quickly. Don't want to take a lot of time doing that. They want a 100 millisecond timeout. They also take the cat data at 38,400, 100 milliseconds again. And they want the cat RTS enabled, so I have that enabled here. That's the default anyway, as you can see. Anything that's blue like that, not the circle around here, but if the text is blue, that's the default value. Now, memory group's an interesting thing in this radio. Essentially, looks like I'm a little bit out of alignment here. I'll move this over a bit. Okay. Anyway, memory is in 6 groups. The 6 groups out of the 100 memories. So you can have a group, say, that's FM for scanning FM channels on 2 meters or 432, 440, whatever. Maybe one on HF nets. You could have memories for all your favorite HF nets from 80 to 10 meters, whatever, or 6 meters. It is a very handy feature if you want to just scan a given group of frequencies or stations or modes. There's a quick split. This is used with DX stations that say listening up 5 kilohertz, which is the default here. And that I'll select it here. That can be up to 20 kilohertz. That is your normal split frequency, which you can set here. Five's a common one, so I will leave it there. This TX total is the time before the radio will automatically unkey. As you see, the default is off, but it can be up to, well, let's find out, 1 minute to 30 minutes. Some repeaters want a 3-minute timeout, but of course if you set this, it'll do it on any frequency you're on. So that's probably why off is the default. Mic scan has to do with the buttons on the microphone here. You can scan, start scan, stop scan, up, down, and so forth. So you enable that by putting this on enable over here, which is again the default. My scan resume, that can be either a timeout situation or it can be, let's check it here, a pause situation. If you have it on pause, it pauses on the channel until you restart it, either with the dial, the screen here, or with the microphone. We'll leave that on time. Interesting note on time. On FM, if you're squelched up, it just scans right through, and if the squelch breaks, it stops. And then there's a time that it takes before it starts again. On sideband, normally you don't have the squelch set up, and so it will delay for the entire time unless you do set the squelch. But it continues on after, I think it's about 10 seconds. And that gives you an opportunity to hear sideband CW, anything that's, you know, not a continuous mode like FM where you have carrier. On sideband, people's speech isn't always on, so it gives some time for you to tell, yeah, that channel's got something on it or it doesn't. Reference frequency adjust is for adjusting the reference frequency in this radio against, say, WWV, maybe at 20 megahertz. For example, if you get it down within, let's say, 10 hertz at 20 megahertz, that would only be 100 hertz off at 200 megahertz. And if you get it down to, say, 1, then it would only be 10 hertz off at 200. So as you see, you can use this feature to get good accuracy even on the 2 meter band. And it goes plus and minus from 0. Clarifier mode select, let's see what we've got available. We obviously have the typical clarifier, which is on RX only. But we also have TX only. And we have TX and RX. So it just depends on what you are doing as to which one you would select. Obviously, normally you'd have an RX. Example, if you are the DX station and you have the RX clarifier set, which I just did, the thing is you can tune around. If you say call 5 to 10 kilohertz above, you just take the clarifier, and that's the knob over here, of course, and go up and down with it to listen to the stations that are calling you. AM low frequency cut. On AM, you do have the option of setting a frequency. In this case, I've set it to 800 hertz. And then going to the next item here and setting it to 6 dB per octave, which is a typical one for just rolling things off relatively gradually. Or you can actually go to, I believe it's 18 dB per octave, which means that at 400 you'd be down 18 dB. Whereas this other position, you'd only at 400 hertz be down 6 dB, which gives a fairly decent control over the bass response. I find this radio to be somewhat bassy, so this is a helpful thing on AM broadcast or shortwave broadcast or even AM ham signals. So we'll leave it at that. And on the other side of that is at 4,000 hertz, and this well, let's see where it varies. It goes up to the off position here, so you don't have to have anything. And this the AM low frequency slope has an off position as well. But anyway, it can go up to 4,000 hertz, so that's as high as it goes. We'll enter that, That's good for both shortwave and AM, although on shortwave you might, if you have some 5 kilohertz carrier, rather than having it 6 dB per octave, you might use the 18 dB per octave, and it will help reduce any 5 kilohertz beat notes that might be present. AM mic select. You can either have use the mic that comes with the radio here, or some other mic plugged into the front panel here, or in the rear, in that corner, in the back, is a 6-pin DIN. That 6-pin DIN accepts audio and puts audio out. So you can set this to rear, and you can put audio in through the rear. It's designed for data, but it's also, possible to use a microphone there if it's got enough output, and broadcast something else through that port. So that's what that's all about. It's actually a 6-pin mini DIN. Oh, I don't want it on rear. I want it on mic. And the AM output level, same thing on that plug on the back. You have control over the mic level coming out, say going to a computer or recorder or whatever. And that's set here. It can go from 0 to 100 like most of these. I think I mentioned earlier that I didn't know what this was about, and that's what it's about. Data can go up, it can be adjusted here, going to your computer, AM level, etc., etc. So that associates with the jack on the back, not with the volume control over here. And you can have several ways of push-to-talk select here. DAKY is the usual. If you're using it with a computer, you can use RTS. You can use DTR. So that's available there, but normally you'd have it on DAKY here. And you can have the data port or the USB port. This radio has a built-in sound card, and so you can use the USB to talk to a computer, as well as using the data port here, which is just an audio, data line that goes out the back, 6-pin mini DIN. So that's where that's selected. And the gain can be set for the data on AM as well. Again, on that mini DIN that's on the back, six conductor mini DIN, and that's where it's adjusted. Whoops. Okay, and Cwa Low-Cut Frequency, again, I've got it set to 250 hertz. You have anything from off to much higher, like 400, 500 hertz. So it operates the same way. And again, that's in this case, I believe this is this works on both the audio from this pot and also in the back. So that's where you do that. And I'll stop here because it's a good time, and we'll go into these things later. We're on number 50 already here, so we'll just leave it there.